All right, this is going to be my thoughts on violent video games and if they're really responsible for violent acts in our society. Personally, this, let me just start off by saying this. This video was basically inspired by this new trailer for a video game that I saw called Hatred. And personally, from the trailer, I just want to get this off my chest. I definitely can see why people are offended by it and aren't interested in the game, don't like the game. But the game does not look that violent. I mean, I've seen more violent video games than Hatred. I've seen way more fatalities in video games. Like, if you're going to talk about violence alone, then Hatred is not that violent. There have been tons of video games that have been just as violent, if not more violent, than Hatred has. With that said, I have absolutely no interest in buying Hatred whatsoever. Not because of the violence, no, but because, there's two reasons actually. One, it's another stereotypical shock value video game. Now, you can just look at the picture and see for yourself what a stereotypical shock value video game is. All you have to do is just look at this picture right here. That's all Hatred is. Another stereotypical kill, 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 just for the fun of it type of game. Bland, boring. There's no creativity in the game. There's no. From what I've seen in the trailer, I don't know what the story is about. It looks like a, like one of those mall shooting, um, school shooting versions of like what The Sims is. There was also a Columbine game that I wanted to put in this picture. I should have put in this picture, but I couldn't find a good picture of it on Google to put it in this picture. There was a Columbine RPG game. And to me personally, it's is it violence? No, it's not the fact that it's violent. It's the fact that a lot of these games are made in poor taste and for shock value. That's what these games are made for. A lot of these games are made for just to be in poor taste and for shock value. Just so these shitty companies that have no talent, no creativity, that don't know how to create another type of game can make money. These motherfuckers have no imagination. These motherfuckers have no creativity. All they want to do is make a shitty game that's easy, that'll get some shock value, and release it onto the market. And most of the time, these types of games are always released for the PC. And they were released for like some of them for the PS2 as well. But most of these types of games are released for the PC. Which is another reason why I just have no interest in PC gaming. There's a lot of reasons. The PC elitists, those master race people, those people that think they're part of a master race just because they have higher settings than the consoles. Those type of people, those weirdos. You know, but I don't see, all honesty, I don't see how video games can influence violence when there have been so many other forms of entertainment, even wrestling, from stuff like wrestling to music to movies and stuff like that, that I actually see that could actually, make someone want to do more violent acts than video games ever could. Because let's be honest, people, video games are still not taken as a serious form of art. They're not like movies or music. They are not taken seriously by the mainstream media. There are many, many people, and this includes some people at my job, that still think video games are for kids and for people with no life, who don't go to the club and don't go to parties and get wasted and stuff like that. That there are people like that who think that video games are still for kids and, quote unquote social rejects. That's what the mainstream, that's what most people in this society think anyway. They don't think that. So why are you now trying to assume that video games are going to cause all this violence? You're assuming video games, first of all, there's been no proven, this hasn't even been proven yet. This hasn't even been scientifically proven. There've been a lot of um, there's been a lot of research that actually finds out that a lot of the time, a lot of these people go on these school shootings or these movie theater shootings and stuff like that is because they're either fucked up in the head already or they're on antidepressants, which is another thing people don't want to bring up. Why, you know, why don't we focus more on antidepressants and how that's causing violence in society? And that's making a lot of people want to do school and movie theater shootings and stuff like that. We don't talk about like how economically disenfranchised a lot of these ghetto neighborhoods, the hood, and a lot of these places are that force people to join gangs and try to be cool, to impress their friends and act stupid and do stupid shit. We don't talk about that. You know, everyone always wants to people. You have people like Jack Thompson. You have politicians like Ralph Nader. You have guys who just want to put all the blame on video games and say, video games are the reason, you know, kids are screwing up and acting stupid and stuff like that. We don't want to, take any more responsibility and say, hey, you know what? Maybe the parents are stupid for even letting these kids play these types of games in the first place. We don't want to take responsibility and say, hey, you know what? It may be these antidepressants that are, not working. Maybe, we don't want to take any, responsibility and say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's our shitty lifestyle. Maybe it's our shitty way of raising kids. Maybe we suck as parents. Maybe, society has failed a lot of people. Maybe there should be more programs and stuff to help people get jobs. Maybe there should be, you know, more, there should be more qualified guidance counselors in school to, get to the root of this problem. Most there's so many people, there's so many teachers, there's so many guidance counselors who don't even give a shit about a lot of these kids anyway. You have there's you have people who are growing up in broken homes. You have people who are growing up in the projects. You have people, even some of these dumbass suburbanite kids who just get neglected by their parents. The parents don't give them any attention. They don't try to find the solution to the problem. And it's so stupid. You have a kid who's mentally handicapped, you know, there's something wrong with his brain and you're going to have a collection of guns in your house? That makes no sense. That is retarded. So before you start putting the blame on violent video games, maybe you should look in the mirror. Maybe society as a whole should look in the mirror before you start putting all the blame on violent video games. Because as much as I think Grand Theft Auto is a shock value piece of shit, it's an overrated piece of shit video game. I think the entire series is highly overrated. And you can check out my GTA rant video if you want more information on that. I doubt that games like Grand Theft Auto are making kids want to join gangs. I doubt, as much as I hate Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and I think GTA 5 is so overrated, I doubt games like that are making kids want to join gangs. I highly doubt that. All right? And maybe I'm wrong, but hey, maybe you should show me some proof that people who are playing games like Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row and State of Emergency and Postal 2 and all these crazy ass fucking video games, maybe you should show me proof that, these are the types of games that are making people want to commit violent acts. Maybe you should show proof of that. Because from what I've seen, a lot of research has shown that it's these antidepressants, it's these kids growing up in such shitty environments, which is why I will never raise my kid in the city. I'm going to raise him if I have a kid. If I have a kid, I'm raising him in the suburbs. I'm raising him in a place where it's like not a lot of people. Because again, my theory is more people, more problems. That's my theory. It's a true theory, And if you don't believe me, just go outside and look for yourself. More people, more problems. But, to put the blame all on video games makes no sense, especially since video games are still considered as a form of media that is not mainstream. It's not like, the movie. Granted, the video game industry makes a lot of money now. It's more mainstream than it has ever been previously. And this includes like the 80s and the 90s and even the 2000s. I mean, in the seventh generation of consoles alone, with the PS3, the Xbox 360, and the Wii, none of those systems sold less than 50 million units worldwide. So that's saying something. They all came close to at least 70 or 80 million units worldwide, and the Wii in that case, that's like 100 million units worldwide. So the PS3, they have like what was it, like almost 80 million units worldwide. The Xbox 360, same thing, like almost 80 million units worldwide. So yeah, the gaming industry is much more mainstream than it has been before, but it's still looked down upon as kids entertainment. It's still looked down upon as something for kids and teenagers. It's not looked upon as like an adult thing. It's not like movies or music where, they're considered art. Games are still not considered art yet. And that's a shame too, because there's a lot of games that do deserve to be considered art. But, and this brings me to the point where, you know, this is why I personally don't like games like this. I think that they're shit. I think that they're made only for shock value. Just looking at the Hatred trailer, it's just stereotypical. This psycho. He's like, oh, humanity is a bug, and it's like you've seen motherfuckers like this in film before. You've seen motherfuckers like this before. It's cliche. And the people who are making Hatred are fucking neo-Nazis. So why the fuck am I going to support a game like that? A game that has no creativity, no originality, and it's made by fucking neo-Nazis. Why the fuck would I support a game like that? It makes no sense. I mean, you have like so many games on the market that are just stereotypical shock value games. That's why people like Jack Thompson continue to make a living, you know, talking about how violent video games are and why they're disrupting, our youth and our society and all this other stuff. Yet we don't want to look at anything else, you know. I mean, yeah, there's some people who do want to look at other things like music and movies, but to me, video games, how, like, there has been no proof of video games causing any of this. You can argue that music can make kids want to be more sexually active. You can argue that with the music videos and all these hip hop videos and all this J Lo and Iggy Azalea booty and Nicki Minaj and their fucking Anaconda video. You can argue that. That's actually a better argument. That's allowing our kids to want to get high and be more sexually active and stupid as fuck. You can argue movies too. But video games are like, they're not taken seriously in the mainstream media. They're not taken seriously by the so-called popular kids. Okay? So how is this really disrupting our youth? Like, really? I mean, yeah, unless they're addicted to video games and they don't want to do anything else, then yeah, you can bring up that point. But how is it making kids and teenagers want to be violent and do school shootings? That is yet to be proven. Video games have not been proven to have caused shit like that. But at the same time, I'm sick of games like this because they're stereotypical games. They're not. I personally, let me tell you something. Let me give you background information on me. I play video games to escape reality. I don't play video games to see, oh yeah, this is ghetto, son. This is Mad Hood, son. No. Yeah, I don't play games like State of Emergency or Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or Saints Row just to be like, oh yeah, man. Like, I could see that shit in the shitty ass fucking neighborhood that I live in. So why the fuck would I want to play it as a video game? Why the fuck would I want to play a game like Hatred, which reminds me too much of the school shootings that it's in bad taste, it's made by neo-Nazis. Why would I want to support a game like that? I don't support games like that. I do like violent video games too, don't get me wrong. I love a good violent video game like Devil May Cry, God of War, Mortal Kombat, a bunch of violent video games that are actually really good. Gears of War. I am not against violent video games. I'm just sick of these stereotypical shock value games. Because these types of games are nothing but shock value. It's just, oh yeah, you just what you can see her tits in the hot coffee mod of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, or you can do, yeah, even though it's fucking pixelated as shit, it's ugly as shit. You can see a chick's tits in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with the hot coffee mod. Get the fuck out of here. Who gives a shit? The early releases of the GTA San Andreas game, you can see tits that are ugly as shit because Grand Theft Auto San Andreas has shitty graphics. They're fucking pixelated. Textures aren't even that good. And you're gonna like make a big deal over shit like that. See, that's another thing. Games like that bring in too many stupid people. Like I'm a gamer that actually has good taste. You know, I want to play something that's gonna be addictive, fun, but at the same time, I don't want it to remind me of reality. I don't want that in a video game. I think Ed Boon said it best in the Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance video game in the DVD features that nobody pays to see reality. Reality is boring, and I agree with that. I do not want to see shit like all these ghetto reality TV shows and all these shitty games and stuff like that. It's trash. It's trash. It's for the lowest common denominator. All right, people that get hyped up over games like Hatred and stuff like that, they you really have to like question their taste in video games. I mean, I am personally not interested in any of these fucking games that I have in this picture right here. I mean, the ethnic cleansing, the race war has begun? Seriously? See, this shit, these motherfucker developers have no talent. These people have no talent whatsoever. They can't come up with an original IP. They can't come up with an original idea if it bit them in the ass. They come out with nothing but shock value. Postal 2. Seriously. Just stereotypical shit. Rockstar Games is like one of the most overrated companies, publishers, developers ever. Like, see, I have I haven't played a Rockstar game that I actually thought was good. That wasn't just a uncreative piece of shit. Like fucking Manhunt, Grand Theft Auto, State of Emergency. I'm like, these games fucking suck, man. Get the fuck out of here. And I would argue, yeah, out of all of them, Grand Theft Auto actually, at least that game actually has a storyline. But come on, like seriously, this is just cheap trash, man. This is uncreative. I'm calling out developers like Rockstar and these neo Nazis that are making Hatred. I'm calling them out because they have no fucking creativity. It's basically a bunch of racists, a bunch of idiots that think like, oh, this shit'll sell because it's mainstream, it's cool, and it's gonna offend people. It's just stupid. And you people that keep giving Hatred a lot of attention because it's one of the most controversial games, because it's not the most violent. It's not. It's not the most. Not even. I. Mortal Kombat, God of War, and the old school Resident Evil games are more violent than Hatred is. Like seriously, you've never seen a decapitation in a game before? No, it's not because it's violent. It's because these games are made with the intent of shock value and bad taste. That's all these games are made for, most of them. It's made to appeal to the lowest common denominator, and these games are just uncreative. They have no creativity whatsoever. It's just, oh, let's just make a game where you kill people. Like seriously, come on. Make a game that actually has art in it. Make a game that actually has really cool backgrounds, like the old Unreal Tournament games, or like Castlevania, or even Okami. Come on, like, be more creative here, people. I'm out. This is done. That's just what I wanted to say in this video. Fuck developers like these. They have no taste.